Hi everyone, Nick Craddock, host of Nick's Seasonal Decor, and you're watching me on Hometalk. So we're going to start with this pizza pan from the dollar store, and this is going to work as a base. So this is going to be kind of a unique style wreath. We're actually going to invert the pizza pan and use the backside of it. So here's a sign we have at nicksseasonaldecor.com. So here we have our trusty glue skillet. I'm actually just using a glue stick to apply the hot glue. If you have a glue gun, by all means, feel free to use that. So I actually encourage you to use a cold glue for this process, especially if you're placing it outdoors. Mine is going to be placed indoors, and I know with the amount of hot glue that we're actually using, which is a very generous amount, kind of dabbed throughout the entire sign, it's not going to go anywhere. So if you're unsure, use a cold glue like E3000, E6000 or so, and you should be good to go. So I actually take these, if we're going to be 100% honest, and I just place them on my table. The glue will solidify, and then I can just cut it in half and add it to my glue skillet, and it'll melt back down. So we're going to take our sign, and we're going to place it right about here or so. So now we just have a little brick of floral foam. We're just going to add a little bit of hot glue to this, and this is going to be kind of our means of securing all of our flowers and greenery. So once you apply a little bit of hot glue, just poke it right onto the sign. Now we can begin by taking some of our greenery and working it in. I do recommend a dry floral foam or a styrofoam to keep everything nice and secured. If you use fresh floral foam, it's okay if you keep it on the interior of your home or if you just make it for yourself, but definitely use dry floral foam if it's outdoors, or styrofoam, or if you're gifting it to a friend, because fresh floral foam will not stand the test of time like the artificial version. So we're just taking some of this eucalyptus that we have in shop, and we're just going to work it in. And our final piece will sit up top. It's always a good idea to start with a little bit of foliage before you really get heavy-handed with your flowers, because when you do that, you use less flowers, and it also creates a more cohesive look without too many florals. It's definitely a possibility when working in florals to go overboard. So now we have some of these beautiful dollar store flowers. So I just broke the flowers separate from the greenery, and that's because I don't want these stems to be too long. So we're going to start with the fern leaves that came with those roses, dip them in our glue skillet, and just work them in. So just taking these dollar store roses, poking them in at an angle. Take another longer piece, place it down below. So here I just have a little scrap burlap ribbon, and what we're going to do is just something very basic, very free-flowing. We don't need to create a super symmetrical bow or something crazy fancy. So we created one loop. Here's a little tail. We'll come back in and do another loop with a little tail, just to make things a little bit more fun. So when it comes to bows, you guys, they do not have to be perfect. They do not have to be even. I think the more imperfect you can make them, sometimes the better off they turn out. So we're going to just take a pipe cleaner, wrap it around several times. And to work this into our foam, we're going to use the pipe cleaner to our advantage. So we just snipped off the end, making sure it's well twisted. And then what we can do is we can come back to our glue skillet, dip it inside, find a little spot in the foam, and work it in. At this point in time, we can dovetail. Dovetailing adds a professional touch to the ends of your ribbon, so just fold it in half and cut from the middle out towards the outside edge, and that's what you create. So see the big difference? Whenever you add tails to anything, always make sure you either do a dovetail or you cut at an angle for the best effect. You never want those blunt edges like this because they just don't look nice. Okay, so at this point in time, it's all about filling in with extra floral material. So we're going to work in one more dollar's worth of this flower spray. And like I said, I just broke off the foliage separate. That way we can distribute that a little bit more towards our liking. And that's always a good idea, you guys. And we've been saying that here on Hometalk for a number of years. Ever since I started out, I always talk about distributing your foliages and your greeneries and your flowers. That way you get more bang for your buck. And not only do you get more bang for your buck, but it also creates a better looking design because you don't have everything, super compact and super tight together. So we'll just take a few more of these flowers, fill in. That way we don't see the pizza pan as much. But what a cool way of using a pizza pan. Something very different. Take another long piece, place it on this side. So before I forget, I want to show you guys how to make a hanger. You can do this initially when you add your sign or before you add your sign. I like to wait till the end. Just rip that paper off. There we go. I like to wait to the end for one kind of major reason, is that since we have a saying on this sign, if we place this in the wrong spot, it kind of looks awkward and the sign's not going to be even. So, you know, I definitely recommend refraining from adding it initially because you might kind of do something a little bit different. So I just took a pipe cleaner, twisted it around, making sure you twist it enough times. Coming back to our glue skillet, we'll just dip it in. And I turn my glue temp a little bit lower, that way it's a lot more thick. Place it on the back of the sign. You can also use a metal hole punch to poke a hole through it. You could use a cable mount, but this is very lightweight and it should keep it in place with no issues indoors. Okay, and here's how our dollar store pizza pan design turned out. So I absolutely love it, and I think it turned out so cute. We used a dollar store pizza pan, a little bit of dollar store yellow roses, some leftover burlap ribbon, some greenery, and the sign from nickseasonaldecor.com. And you can create this for like 10 bucks, you guys. Very inexpensive, very simple, but very cute. So as I said before, I do recommend a cold glue if you're going to be using this outdoors, but hot glue works totally fine for interior use only. But let me know your thoughts. I hope you guys enjoyed this. This is Nick Creticos of Nick Seasonal Decor, and you're watching me on Hometalk. Bye, everyone.